Today I will be discussing with you about rethinking testing. The public has a right to know what's going on in our schools. Testing has become a way of life in education, and we need to know what standards are being taught in preparation of such high-stake tests. While we need accountability in education, sometimes I think testing goes a little bit too far. Let me share with you why we need to rethink the needs of high-stakes testing in our schools. Standardized testing are not always effective for achievement of school students. Educational researcher Philip Harris stated that the contrary to popular assumptions about standardized testing, the testing do a poor job of measuring student achievement. Educational researcher Gerald Bracey stated that testing cannot measure creativity, motivation, honesty, integrity, and so many qualities to show personal growth. Bottom line, our current standardized testing do not account for all of the growth the students may have made in school. So, standardized testing does not always measure student growth in all areas, and yet they put tremendous pressure on students for such as passing this test. Teaching the test. As you can see here, spending more time teaching to the teachers rather than focusing on quality lessons in grade level curriculum. It's more of teaching to the test has become the norm over good old-fashioned teaching practices. A study at the University of Maryland showed that the pressure teachers were feeling to teach the test was leading to decline in teaching higher order thinking and a decline in the amount of time spent on the complex test. Based on my personal experience in school systems, I remember many of my teachers that were concerned about testing that I felt like we were not always taught the fundamentals, but we all seemed to focus on how to pass this test. Teachers' evaluations are based upon their students' test scores, and this has placed a tremendous pressure on teachers to have students pass these assessments. There are 10 different ways to assess your students. We have got to find better ways to teach and evaluate students rather than relying upon standardized testing. We need to teach students how to think for themselves and develop problem-solving skills. We need to encourage other areas in addition to reading, writing, and math. There are many students that excel in arts and physical education, yet struggle in academic areas. There are also students that have real learning issues and come from very troubled home environments, lives that make it very difficult to overcome in only 9 months of an academic year. As a result of such pressure, it makes it almost unfair on teachers, and as a result, they lead teachers to cheat. Sad but true, it seems like standardized testing seems to stay for the foreseeable future. In the end, the works of Charlotte Danielson emphasizes that in our educational society, we need a better way to teach and evaluate students. I believe the teachers need accountability, but not evaluation so harshly based upon the grades of students. Thank you for your time.